Welcome back, you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Crime Bowl podcast. It's your boy Bill and your girl Jill. Let's solve some crime. True crime. No bull. Today we're taking a deep dive into a case that's both perplexing and heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
The disappearance of Jennifer Kesse.
It's one of those cases that just grabs you, you know? I mean, you look at Jennifer, she was a young woman living what seemed like a totally normal life.
Right.
In Orlando, Florida, had a good job, a loving family, boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then, just like that, on January 23rd, 2006, she vanishes.
And it's the details, right? The details surrounding her disappearance.
Yeah.
That just leave you with more questions than answers. Like, we know she's seen leaving work on January 23rd around 6 p.m. Even talks to her dad on the phone.
Right.
While driving home. Yeah. And then she chats with her boyfriend around 10 p.m. that night.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last anyone hears from her.
But what about those hours in between, you know, between that last call with her boyfriend and the next morning when she's a no-show at work? What happened during that time? I mean, those missing hours are crucial, really crucial to understanding this case.
It's like a black hole, right, in the timeline.
Yeah.
And then, to make things even more confusing, her apartment's found completely undisturbed.
Oh, wow.
Like, her car is gone, but there's no sign of a struggle, no forced entry. It's like she just, poof, vanished.
And that's where the initial police response, at least according to that article, comes into question, right? They were hesitant to officially report her missing because of the time frame, you know, the time that has to pass before someone can be classified as, well, officially missing.
Can you imagine the frustration?
Oh, absolutely.
Her family must have felt, knowing that every second could be vital.
I can't even imagine.
And they raced down from Tampa to Orlando as soon as they realized something was wrong. And to be told to wait. Agonizing.
Yeah.
Then, 2 days later, on January 26th, her car is found abandoned at another apartment complex, about a mile from her own. Again, car's in good condition.
Yeah.
Nothing seems out of place.
It deepens the mystery, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there is one clue that stands out, and that's that grainy surveillance footage showing an unidentified person parking Jennifer's car and walking away.
Okay.
So this mysterious figure becomes central to the case, right?
Right.
I mean, even if they weren't directly involved in her disappearance, they could have crucial information about what happened.
Yeah.
But the video quality is so poor, and attempts to enhance it haven't been able to, you know, really give a clear identification of the person.
Well, that's technology for you sometimes, a blessing and a curse.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine if this had happened today with all the high-def cameras we have everywhere? But back then, investigators were dealing with much cruder footage, making it almost impossible to get a positive ID.
So with such limited leads, what are the main theories about what happened to Jennifer? The City Towner article lays out a few, and some are, well, they're more chilling than others.
Well, the most common theory, you know, especially in cases like this where someone just vanishes, is random abduction.
Yeah.
A stranger abduction. It's often the default assumption, right? But here's the thing. Wouldn't a stranger abduction usually leave some kind of trace?
Right.
A sign of a struggle, a witness, something.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fact that Jennifer's car and apartment were undisturbed, it makes you think twice about that theory.
It does. So what are some of the other possibilities?
Well, there's what they call the construction worker theory. Jennifer had mentioned feeling uneasy around some of the workers at her complex, which, I mean, that's a disturbing thought.
It is. To think that someone you might see every day, someone who's working on your home, could be involved in something so sinister. But is there any solid evidence linking them to the crime?
Unfortunately, no. And that's what's so frustrating about this case, right? We have threads of suspicion, these unsettling possibilities, but no concrete proof to tie any of them to Jennifer's disappearance. And of course, you know, you have to consider the human trafficking angle.
Right.
Which, sadly, isn't all that implausible given Orlando's location. I mean, it's a major tourist destination.
Right.
But that also makes it a potential hub for that type of criminal activity.
It's a horrifying thought.
Yeah.
And it really highlights that dark side that can exist even in, you know, these seemingly vibrant, happy places.
But again, anything specific?
Right.
To Jennifer's case? Yeah. That suggests this as a possibility.
Not definitively, no. But it's almost like the lack of evidence, right?
Yeah.
Becomes a form of evidence in itself when you think about it.
Yeah.
If we can't like, conclusively tie her disappearance to any of these other theories, then you have to consider everything, no
Right.
matter how unsettling.
It's like eliminating suspects, right? In
Yeah.
a mystery novel, if none of the obvious choices fit, you got to start looking in the shadows.
Anything.
There are things people don't want to see.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we have these theories, this grainy video, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
And a family.
Who's been through hell? You know, the Kesses have been so resilient and determined in their search for Jennifer. Working with the police, they hired private investigators. They even fought a legal battle to get those case files.
Wow.
I mean, that's not something every family has the strength or resources to do.
Right?
No.
It really shows their commitment
Yeah.
to finding out what happened to their daughter. They haven't given up hope. And they've kept Jennifer's story in the public eye.
And you know, it's interesting. Sometimes these cold cases, they get new life.
Yeah.
Thanks to things like podcasts, documentaries. That City Towner article even mentions a podcast, Unconcluded, that focused on Jennifer's case back in 2020. And it really reignited that public interest.
It's amazing. The power of storytelling, you know. And it makes you wonder, could someone listening right now
Right.
hold a piece of the puzzle?
Yeah.
Maybe they saw something back then,
Yeah.
but dismissed it. Or maybe they've been carrying a secret this whole time.
Oh, that's a chilling thought. To think that the answer to this mystery, it might not be in some, hidden clue or forensic evidence, but in the conscience of a person
Oh,
who's been holding on to this burden for so long.
yeah.
What would it take for them to break their silence?
Such a powerful question. I mean, it makes you think about guilt, redemption,
Yeah.
and the hope that even after all these years, the truth can come out. It might sound far-fetched, but I mean, crazier things have happened.
Absolutely. And don't forget, there's still a $15,000 reward being offered for information leading to Jennifer's whereabouts. Even the smallest detail, something seemingly insignificant, could be the missing piece. That cracks this case wide open.
So if you're out there and you know something, anything about Jennifer's disappearance, please do the right thing. Come forward. It's never too late to help bring a family some peace and closure.
Sometimes all it takes is one person to find the courage to speak up. And a mystery that's haunted people for years can finally be solved.
It's cases like Jennifer's, you know. They just stay with you. They really get under your skin. They remind us that even in these seemingly ordinary lives, that the unthinkable can happen. And sometimes those answers, well, they remain elusive.
It's a tough reminder, isn't it, of how much we don't know, how many mysteries are still out there. And for the families like the Kesses, that lack of knowing, that constant ambiguity, man, that's got to be heavy to carry that around.
It really makes you think about resilience, the strength to keep going. When faced with the unimaginable, Jennifer's family hasn't given up hope, and neither should we.
Absolutely. And just keeping the conversation going, right? Sharing these stories, it can make a difference. You never know who might be listening, who might have that one little piece of information that changes everything.
Well said. It's been a fascinating, albeit heartbreaking, deep dive into the disappearance of Jennifer Kesse. Everyone listening, please share this episode, keep the conversation going, and maybe, just maybe, we can help bring Jennifer home.
True crime, no bull.